Jai Shri Ram. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Jagannath, Lord Sri Rama, we will continue the story of Ramayana Part 2, Chapter 10, Ram's Terrible Discovery. If you are not watched the previous chapter of Ramayana, you may go to the playlist or click on the I button so that you can connect the story of Ramayana from the beginning to this chapter. So let's begin with this chapter 10. It was mentioned that Ram raced towards his hermitage. He was filled with foreboding. As he crashed through the bushes, he heard a jackal fiercely yelled behind him. Recognizing the evil omen, he becomes even more anxious. Had Sita been devoured by Rakshasas, Lakshmana must have left her when he heard Maricha cry. Sita would have insisted upon it. The Rakshasa had plotted successfully. Surely they had now taken Sita. Ram saw other frightening omens, and his mind becomes even more distressed. As he rushed through the forest, he suddenly saw Lakshmana coming towards him. Ram ran to him and took hold of his hand. He spoke sternly, "My dear brother, what have you done? Why have you abandoned the helpless Sita? Without doubt, she is now dead or stolen by the Rakshasa." Ram pointed out to Lakshmana the various omens. He told him about Maricha tricky. It was now obvious the Rakshasa had arranged everything so they could abduct Sita. Tears flowed from Ram's eyes, and as he thought of his wife, if she were killed, he would give up his own life. Desperately, he asked desperately, he asked Lakshmana, "Did you fail to protect her? Where is the gentle lady who gave every happiness to follow me here? Where is Sita now? You should know that I cannot live without her for even a minute." Feeling desperated, Lakshmana replied, "I did not leave Sita willingly. Urged by her strong and painful words, I came looking for you. She would by no means allow me to stay with her. Forgive me, my lord." Lakshmana explained everything to Ram, how he had tried hard to convince Sita of Ram's invisibility, how she had accused him of having ulterior motives. But Ram only became angry and reprimanded him. Why had he taken Sita's word seriously when she was overwhelmed by sentiment? Why had he allowed himself to fall prey to anger? He had failed to carry out Ram's order. Now they would surely meet calamity. Ram turns and continued to run towards his hermitage, his mind fixed on Sita. As Ram ran, he felt a tremor run through his limbs. His, his left eye throbbed violently, greatly perturbed by this dreadful omen. Ram crashed through the forest. He seemed almost to fly. Obviously, of the creepers and bushes which lashed him, breaking into the clearing where he had his hermitage. He ran about wildly, looking for Sita. He called her name again and again, but On finding no sign of her, his heart sank. Rama examined his hut and the surrounding grounds closely. It resembled a lotus flower blighted by winter and deprived of its charm. The tree seemed to cry as they cracked in the wind. The flowers appeared faded and dull. Deer and birds were restless and ill at ease. Ram saw blades of kusa grass scattered around, along with flower petal fallen from Sita garland. He wailed loudly. Surely Sita had been snatched away, or perhaps she lay dead somewhere. Or has she gone out playfully, hiding now in sport? Ram searched frantically, but Sita was now here to be found. Nowhere to found. He feared the worst. This was surely the work of the Rakshasa. Even now, Sita must be in their clutches. Ram imagined Sita as she was carried away. She must have cried out of him in plaintive tones as she was borne upward, her beautiful face streaked with tears. Fear would have gripped that timid princess. Perhaps at that very moment she was being devoured by demons who were cutting upon her soft neck and drinking her blood. As Ram ran from tree to tree, his eyes red from sorrow, he appeared almost crazy. He questioned the tree, "O Kadamba, O Bilava, O Arjuna tree, where is Janaka, afraid daughter, is she alive or not?" In the madness of the grief, he spoke to animal, the river, the sky, and the earth itself, but they all remained silent, highlighting Ram's anguish. The forest and the river deities, remembering Ram's frightful form, were petrified with fear and could make no reply. As Ram gazed around, it seemed to him that he saw Sita in the slides of the forest. The yellow flower looked like her silk garment. The creepers flowing, flowing in the wind become her limbs. Ram thought he saw his beloved wife everywhere. He ran towards her, crying, but found only the desolate and echoing forest. Ram rebuked himself for leaving Sita. What would he say to Kausalya? How could he even look at Janaka, that ever truthful monarch? Ram felt as if he would die. But then what would his father say upon seeing him arrive in heaven, killing by grief? Surely the empire would reproach him for becoming a liar by not completing the term of his exile. Ram lamented piteously, "I shall never return to Ayodhya. Kaikai may rejoice her purpose fulfilled. O Lakshmana, you should embrace Bharata and tell him to long rule over his wide earth, for Ram is no more. Without Sita, I shall not accept even heaven. What then of this world? With Sita, death has come mine. For failing to protect that gentle princess, I shall reach unending region of hell." Ram fell weeping to the ground. He censured himself in many ways. Surely this awful misfortune was the result of a sinful act performed in a past life. It was undoubtedly his destiny. Such suffering, the loss of a kingdom, separation of his loves one, the king's death, and now Sita's loss, could only have been caused by his own past evil deeds. Ram touched about in pain. Seeing Ram's agony, Lakshmana himself grieved by despondency approached his brother and said, "Do not give away to despair, O mighty prince. Men of your caliber are never bewildered by even the greatest disaster. We shall yet find Sita. She cannot be feared away. It is less than an hour since I left her. Let us continue our search." Ram composed himself and got up his sing and gazed about, wondering which way to go. As he looked at the seat outside his hut, he remembered how he had sat there with Sita by his side, how they had talked and laughed together, how she had teased him, pretending to be hurt by his words, and cajoling him to fetch the particular flower from deep in the wood. As he as he thought of his lotus-eyed wife, Ram's grief rose in repeated waves. A couple of large deer come close to the brothers. Rama asked if they had seen Sita. The deer then stood with their head pointed towards the south. Ram and Lakshmana took that as a clue and sped off in that direction. They soon come upon a trail of flower pollen on the ground. Ram dropped off his knee and picked up the petals. They were from the braid on the Sita's hair. He cried out in a resounding voice, "Sita, Sita." The two brothers kept running. Suddenly, they saw enormous footprints, probably of a Rakshasa. Near to it were Sita's footprints going here and there as she evidently ran in fear. As they looked about, they found a huge bow laying on the pieces, along with many fearsome arrows tipped with steel barbs. A chariot less mast there, still yoked to great. The charioteer still sat holding the reins and weep. There were strands of gold fallen from Sita's ornament along with her coursed garland. Ram pointed to the ground. "See here the many drops of blood. Look at these shattered weapons and this mighty bow, encrusted with pearls and gems. Which chariot is this? With its hundred ribbed canopy torn apart. Look over there, glowing golden armor studded with emeralds and rubies. All these items could only belong to god or a demon." Ram fell to the ground willingly, piteously. "Oh Lakshmana, it is clear that Sita is dead. Here at this place, two Rakshasa fought for her sake. The victor would surely have consumed my darling's wife. Alas, I am lost." Lakshmana carefully examined the scene. There had obviously been an encounter between two very powerful beings. Perhaps Ram was right, but from the footprints there did not there did not appear to be more than one Rakshasa. Lakshmana felt that somehow Sita was still living. He reassured Ram, telling him to take heart, for Sita would surely soon be recovered. As he checked his grief, Ram felt consumed by anger. The corner of his eyes turned capori of as he stood holding his bow. The Rakshasa race will soon be extinct. They have borne away Sita even as she practiced virtue. How did the gods stand by and allow this to happen? Do they not fear my worth? Do they think I am powerless? For too long I have been mild and compassionate. Today the world will see a different Ram. Ram rode, giving vent to his anger. He would fill the heaven with his missile, with his weapons. He would annihilate the entire creation. All living beings would find themselves oppressed as he discharged endless flaming arrows. The planet would be brought to a standstill. The sun upsourced and the moon brought down from the sky. The mountain would lie crushed to a powder, and the ocean would be dried up. If the gods did not bring back Sita, they would find no shelter anywhere in the universe. All the worlds would be torn to pieces by Ram's arrow, and nothing would remain. A blazing fire would rage through all the quarters, leaving total devastation in its wake. Ram tightened his cloth, his lips trembled, and he pressed him against his teeth. He looked like Shiva intent upon the destruction of the universe at the end of an age, taking from his quiver a dreadful looking arrow. He placed it upon his bow. Today I shall not be checked by consolation or force. See now, dear Lakshmana, as I bring down the gods from heaven. Lakshmana grabbed hold of Ram's arms and stopped him from releasing his arrow. With palms joined, he spoke gently to the infuriated Rama. You have always been dedicated to the good of all beings. Do not abandon your nature today. O Ram, do not be swayed by anger. You should not destroy the worlds for one person offense. Lords of this world are always just in their punishment. Therefore, display your forbearance. For For it is as deep as that of the earth itself. Be calm and consider the situation with care. Lakshmana pointed out that they could see only the footprints of a single Rakshasa. It appears that someone had fought against the demon, probably to protect Sita. Whoever had adopted Sita was obviously possessed of great power. Perhaps no one was able to prevent the kidnapping. After all, after all, who would approve the destruction or kidnapping of Ram's spouse? The gods and Gandharvas, the rivers, sea, mountains, and indeed all living beings were not capable of giving offense to Rama any more than the priest at a sacrifice could offend the person for whom they were performing the rituals. Rama felt slightly pacified as Lakshmana continued. Let us seek out the assistance of the great sage. Says, with me by your side, we shall search the whole earth with all its mountains and forests. If we still do not find Sita, we shall go to the deep depth of the ocean and up to the realms of the gods. O Ram, we shall not rest until we find our beloved, your beloved wife. Lakshmana suggested that if still they did not find Sita, then Rama could let loose his venomous missile upon the world. But first, he should control his anger and seek his wife through peaceful means. Otherwise, what example would he set for the world? If the earth rulers immediately resorted to violence when under duress, then what would ordinary man do? Could they be expected to exercise any control when in distress? In this world, calamities visited everyone in due course of a time, and but they also disappear again. Happiness and distress follow one another in swift succession. One should not give away to either, even the god were subject to suffering. One should neither rejoice nor grieve for material thing, but with a peaceful mind carry out only duties. This was the path of everlasting happiness. Lakshmana looked into Ram's eyes. Oh Ram, you have often instructed me in this way. Indeed, who can teach you, even if he be Bruhaspati himself? I am only trying now to awaken your intelligence, which has been dulled by grief. Dear brother, people like you do not give away to grief even when faced with the gravest perils. Therefore, spare the walls. Seek out only the sinful adversary who had stolen Sita. Ram put down his bow and replaced his arrow in its quiver. He was moved by his brother's beautifully worded advice, controlling his anger. He thanked Lakshmana and asked him what they should do next. Where should they be to look? The two princes continue to walk south, discussing what to do. Soon they come upon Jatayu laying upon the ground, seeing from a distance the mountainous bird traced in blood. Rams exclaimed, Lakshmana, here is Rakshasa in the guise of a bird. Surely this beast had has devoured Sita. I shall make short work of it with my fierce arrow. Ram filtered a razor-headed arrow to his bow and bounded towards Jatayu. But as soon as he recognized the great bird, he lowered his weapon. Jatayu close to death. Saw Ram coming and raised up his head, vomiting blood. He spoke in strained voice, O Ram, the godly Sita, and indeed my life have both been snatched away by Ravana. I flew to her assistance and fought with the demon. Although I smashed his chariot and killed his horses, I was finally caught down by him. Jatayu then described what had taken place. Often hearing his story, Ram fell weeping to the ground. He embraced Jatayu and stroked his head. It in great pain, cried out, Alas, who is more fortunate than I? My sovereignty is lost. I am unfortunate than I. My sovereignty is lost. I am exiled. My wife is stolen, and my father friend lies morality wounded, having tried his best to help me. Ram questioned Jatayu, where did Ravana take Sita? What did she say? as she was being dragged away. How powerful was the Rakshas and where was his award? Ram spoke widely in a tearful voice. Jatayu looked at his fondly, speaking in weirdly whispering. He replied, the demon conjured of a storm as he flew in the sky. As the contacted with him, I soon become exhausted. Being old and worn out, he then looped up my wings. He sped away with his face pointed south. Jatayu told Ram that Ravana was the son of a sage Visarva and the half brother of Kuvera. Although he was immensely powerful, Ram would soon slay him. Jatayu was sure of it. As the old word spoke, he felt his life departing, blood flowing continuously from his mouth. He looked at Ram with tears in his eyes, repeating 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 Rama's name over and over. Jatayu gradually became silent. His head fell to the ground and his body slumped back. Ram stood with folded hands looking at his father's dear friend. He cried out in anguish, speak more, O noble bird, speak more. But Jatayu was dead. Ram gazed at his sorrowful. Turning to Lakshmana, he said, alas, this bird has laid down his life for my sake. Dear brother, it is clear that violent souls who practice pity and virtue are found even in the lower species of life and not just among human. The pain of seeing this vulture death afflicts me as much as the caused by Sita's loss. Ram considered Jatayu to be as worthy of his worship as Dasaratha. He asked Lakshmana to fetch logs so that they could build a funeral pyre. Ram looked at the bird and said, you will attain unsurpassed realms of happiness, O king of birds. Never again you will take bath in this mortal world of pain and suffering. The brothers placed Jatayu on the wood pile and set it as alight. Ram personally recited the sacred mantras and performed the rituals, cremating Jatayu as he could his own relative. Both brothers then went to Godavari and after bathing in the river offered its sacred water to Jatayu departed soul. When the ritual was complete, Ram and Lakshmana felt pleased, knowing that Jatayu had gone to divine regions of unending happiness. They fixed their mind on Sita, recovering Sita, going in a southerly direction. They entered the deep forest, appearing like Vishnu and Indra, going out to encounter the Asura. Lakshmana went. Lakshmana went. I heard wielding his long sword and waking down the shrub and creepers that blocked their progress. The forest was trackless and difficult to traverse. B- But the brothers moved swiftly, distressed and angered to find Sita. They looked on all sides, but saw only the dense forest. Lions roared and birds of a prey screamed above them. Thick darkness enveloped they them as they penetrate deeply into the jungle. As they moved ahead vigorously without fear, they began to perceive evil omens. Ram's left arm strobed and his mind became disturbed. Jackal hold and Cruz imitated sh- shrink cries. Ram said, "Oh, weary, oh Lakshmana, these signs definitely indicate some imminent danger." Even as he spoke, a loud noise suddenly resounded from ahead of them. It was defending and it filled the four quarters. Ram and Lakshmana, with sword in hand, ran towards the sound. Here must be the demons responsible for taking Sita. They would soon dispatch him. Perhaps Sita was still there. The brother raced ahead. They suddenly broke into a clearing and saw a colossal Rakshasa seated there, taller than the surrounding trees. The demons looked like a mountain peak. It had no neck or a head, and his huge mouth was in his belly. The demon was dark blue in color and covered all over with sharp, bristling hair. At the top of his body was a single fearful eye with blazed like fire. His long pointed tongues darted in and out, licking his lips. He had arms 8 miles long, and they drew towards him all kind of animals. As Rama and Lakshmana looked on, the Rakshasa devoured bears, tiger, and deers, which he cramped into his gaping mouth. Gaping mouth. The brothers saw the Rakshasa from a distance of a mile. They looked in a amazement. As they stood there, the demon saw them and reached out with his two arms, which snaked about like two enormous creepers, tightly grasping both brothers. He lifted them high above the ground. Lakshmana cried out to Rama, "Free yourself, O Rama! Leave me as an offering to this devil. Make good your escape. I cannot release myself from this demon's clutches." After recovering Sita and the throne of Ayodhya, always remember me there. Already, already torn by anguish due to having allowed Sita to be captured, Lakshmana was overcome by the demands. Ram replied to his distraught brother, "Do not yield to fear, O Lakshmana. A man like you should never feel dejected." The massive Rakshasa pulled the brother towards him. "Who are you?" "Two with a soldier like those, a bull's dress like aesthetic, yet wielding a sword and a large bow." He boomed, he boomed. By the will of providence, you have fallen within the range of my sight at a time when I stand oppressed by hunger. Your life is now of a short duration." Ram felt despair. What would happen next? Was there no end of his suffering? He called out to Lakshmana, "Powerful indeed in destiny, calamity upon calamity is heaped upon us. We are now threatened with death even before we could find the beautiful Sita. What should be done now?" The demon spoke again. "Today you too shall serve as my food. Ex- ex- Exert yourself if you have any strength. Lakshmana, who had gathered himself together, become infuriated. He shouted to Ram, the strength of his repulsive demons lies in his arms alone. Let us quickly cut off his vast arm with our swords. As Lakshmana spoke, the Rakshasa roared and opened his mouth wide. He began to draw the brother towards him. Without delay, they both brought their swords down upon his arm with great force. The razor sharp weapons sliced through the demon's flesh, and his arms fell upon the ground, releasing Ram and Lakshmana, emitting a terrible bellowing scream which echoed for miles. The demons slumped back, bathed in a stream of blood which gushed from the storms of his arms. He called out to the princess, "Who are you?" Lakshmana replied, "We are two sons of Dasharatha in the line of is Bhakshu. This is Ram and I am Lakshmana. We are here at the behest of our noble father. While my mighty brother wandered in the forest, his consort was stolen away by a Rakshasa whom we now seek. But who are you? Why do you reside in this forest in such a form with a flaming mouth of your belly? The demon become joyful upon hearing Lakshmana speak. Welcome, O tiger among men. It is my good luck that I see you here today. By good fortune only, I have my arms being served by you. The Rakshasa, whose name was Kambha, Kambandha, told the brother his story. He had previously been a Gandharva once, out of pride in his divine beauty. He had laughed at Rishi named Astabharkra, whose body is bent in eight places. Astabharkra, whose body is bent in eight places, uh, in order to free Kambodha from his pride, and the Rishi had pronounced a curse, turning the Gandharva into Rakshasa. Kambodha had begged for mercy, and the Rishi had said, "When Rama and Lakshmana cremate you in a lonely forest, only then shall you be released from my curse." Kavandha continued in the form of Rakshasa. I raised the forest after once performing severe asceticism. I received from Brahma the boons of a long life. Becoming fearless, I then challenged Indra to battle that in what year? That invisible god hurled his thunderbolt at me. It hit me and forced my head, arm, and legs into my trunk. Although I begged him, Indra would not kill me, saying, "Let the words of Brahma prove true." I asked Indra how I could survive in such a form, in a merry trunk with no head or limbs. Out of compassion, he gave me these two arms and this huge mouth. He then said, "When Rama and Lakshmana severe save her, your arms will ascend to heaven. Thus thus have I sat here, stretching out my arms and pulling into my mouth a lion, leopards, bears, tigers, and deer. I always thought to myself, one day Rama and Lakshmana will fall in my grip. Kambanda implored the princess to throw him in a pit and cremate him. Rama asked that he first tell them if he knew anything about Sita, whereabouts. He said to Rakshasa, "We only know the name of Sita, our doctor, avatar. We do not know where he lives, how even his appearance." Kavanda said he would be able to give them good advice as soon as he would assume his original celestial form, because only then would be possessed of his former divine intelligence. The brother dug a great pit next to the demons and placed in it many logs. They pulled Kambanda into the pit and set fire to the logs. As the Rakshasa body burned, he looked like a large lump of ghee with fat running down on all sides. Suddenly, from the pit, there arose of shining personality dressed in blazing yellow garments and wearing a bright garland. A splendid real chariot drawn by swans also appeared, and Kadamba took his seat on it. He then spoke to Ram, O Raghava, I shall now tell you how you shall recover Sita. One who has fallen upon misfortune is served by another in the same circumstance. You must befriend someone who has suffered a similar fate as you. Kabandha told Rams that he would he should seek out of monkey sugriva. This monkey lived on a nearby mountain with four friends. He was powerful, intelligent, cultured, and true in his promise. He enraged his enraged brother Bali and had exiled him from for the sake of sovereignty, and he was in need of help. By forming a pact with Sugriva, Rama one would render him good, and in return the monkey would assist Ram in finding Sita. Kavandha went on, having restored the kingdom to Sugriva. The monkey will send out thousands of his followers to search every part of the world. O Ram, even if your wife has been taken to the higher or lower planet, she will be found and return to you with Sugriva's help. Kavandha then told Ram how he could find Sugriva. With his divine vision, the Gandharva could see exactly what Ram would encounter, and he told him in detail. Ram would meet with the monkey near the hermitage of the Rusi Matanga on the side of Lake Pampa, where there now lived only an old atheistic lady named Sabari. After explaining everything, Kabandha remained in the sky, shining like the sun. Ram thanked him and said, "Please depart now from your own abode. You have rendered me excellent service." Kabandha bowed his head and offered prayers to the brothers, recognizing who they were. His golden chariot then rose upward as he disappeared into the skies. The Gandharva called out, enter an alliance with Sugriva. Rama and Lakshmana immediately headed west on suggested by Bandha. After some time, they reached Lake Pampa and stay. one night by its side. In the morning, the princess looked about and located the Sita a site of located the site of Matanga Hermitage. It was hemmed by trees laden with fruits and flowers. Varieties of colorful birds played in the tree, and their signing was beautiful. Deer, rabbits, and other timid creature moved about peacefully. The princess walked over the soft grass and soon found the hut where Sabori lived. She was seated outside the hut and rose respectfully as they approached. Joining her palms, the ascetic lady fell down before the brother and clasped their feet. Somebody offered them grass, mat, and brought water to wash their feet, saying, "You are welcome." Rama and Lakshmana sat at each, and Ram spoke, "O noble lady, is your asceticism proceeding without impediment? Have you mastered your sense? Are you fully free from anger? And is your diet controlled? O gentle one, has your service to your guru borne fruit? Bene fruit?" Somebody looked at Ramu with tear-filled eyes. She had been practicing austerity and yoga for many years. Being fully self-realized, she could understand the identity of the true princess. She spoke in a pleasing voice. Today, the full fruition of my asceticism meditation has been attended. Today my life is perfect. My teachers have now been served and satisfied, and I have achieved heaven indeed. O Ram, after seeing your divine form, I shall reach those realms that know to decay. Somebody told Ram that her preceptor Matanga had not long before ascended to heaven. Before leaving, he had informed Sabari that Ram, accompanied by Lakshmana, would soon come there. She should serve the true princess, and then when they left, she would raise up to the eternal regions. With shaking hands, Sabari began offering the brothers fruits and vegetable of every description. After graciously accepting Sabari's offering, Ram asked to be shown the hermitage. "I wish to see for myself the glory of your guru," he said. "Please show me where he lived and is worshipped." Somebody took the brothers to where Matanga had his altar. It shone with a brilliant luster which illuminated the surrounding area. In a pond nearby, where the waters of the seven oceans brought to there by Matanga ascetic powers, powerful, powerful sorry, flower garlands made by the sage lay on the ground, still fresh and unfaded. unfaded. After she had shown the brother around, Sabari said, "I long now to join those great rishi in heaven. I am ever their servant. Please permit me to leave, O Ram." Rama and Lakshmana looked around, saying, "Wonderful." Ram turned to the old ascetic woman. "You have probably honored us. Oh, blessed lady, please depart at will." Somebody poured low to Ram, and approaching the sacrificial fire, cast herself into it. As her body was consumed, she arose in a brilliant ethereal form, adorned with celestial jewels and garlands. She appears resplendent Like a streak of light, she rose into the sky, illuminating the whole region. She went upward towards the holy realm, now inhabited by the sage whom she had always served. Having watched Sabari depart, Ram spoke to Lakshmana, the hermitage shining with splendor. By simply coming here, we shall be free of the strain of sin-born karma. Dear brother, surely now our fortune will change. I feel that we shall soon meet with Sugriva. Rama felt joy as he anticipated meeting the monkey. He remembered Kabandha verses. Soon Sita would be found. He felt sure. The two brothers left the hermitage and walked around the edge of the lake, carefully surveying the area. The sound of a peacock and parrots perched on the tree nearby echoed all around. It was known that the prince and the princess took their midday bath in the lake. The water was celestial clear, clear and covered with innumerable lotus, making it appear like a many colored carpet. The lake had gently sloping bank of golden sand covered with tall trees. Long creepers reached down to the water and shining fishing nibbled, nibbled at their end. As the brother continued around the bank of the Pampa, which stretched for miles, they came to the foot of the Rishyamukha mountain. Rishyamukha mountain. Rama gazed up at it. Surely this is the mountain where Sugriva dwells. O Lakshmana, my heart is torn with grief for Sita. I feel I cannot live much longer unless Prince is found. Please quickly search for the monkey. Thinking of Sita, Ram burst into a loud wail. Where was Janak's daughter now? Perhaps she had pinned away in his absence, dying of grief. As Ram looked around at the beautiful scenery, his pain only highlighted everything. Remind him of Sita, the Peahen mating dance brought to mind the way Sita would approach him in love. The pregnant bridge was like the scented breath of his beloved wife. Yellow champaka flowers resembled her shining silk garments. Bright red tree blossom looked like the princess full lips. Deer, deer moved about with their mates, piercing Ram's heart as he remembered how he would wander with Sita. The white swans reminded Rams of his wife complexion. Indeed, he saw her everywhere he looked. Ram cried out in anguish, his heart burning with the pain of separation. Lakshmana comforted his brother again, reassuring him that Sita would be found. As he spoke to Ram, his voice rose in anger. The sinful Ravana would find no shelter, even if he entered the darkest region of the universe. I shall seek him out. Um, Either the Rakshasa will yield Sita or meet with his end at my hand. Throw off your grief, dear brother, and together we shall strenuously exert ourselves to find Sugriva. High class man never give away to dependency, even when faced with the most terrible calamities. Rather, they become more and more determined to overcome their difficulty. Ram was heartened by Lakshmana's assurance. The two brothers continued to search Sugriva. This is how this is how Ram and Lakshmana search for Sita by discovering the world. Hope you got some information regarding the regarding Ramayana. If you got some information, you may like, comment, and subscribe the channel. Don't forget to share to with your friend. Jai Jagannath, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.